Welcome to episode 8 of the Gamesters Guide to Creating YouTube Videos. In this episode we will look at the OBS settings for video and voice recording. Hopefully I will make this very simple for you to follow. That indeed is my target for this episode, as I do realise this is probably the most important episode of this mini series. For obvious reasons, your video quality is very important, and also is hearing your voice. Also, of course, you don't want background interference interrupting your videos. So hopefully I will cover all of this for you. If you do get stuck or have any questions, then please leave a comment under this episode asking your question, and I will try to answer it. But do remember, there is a website for OBS with a forums and a help section, so fill your boots in there. But anyway, for now, let's get started. Welcome to OBS, the best recording software I have ever used. Forget the fact that it is the only recording software I have ever used. Now that would just be nitpicking, mere details. But all joking aside, OBS is a very good recording program because the best way I can explain it is it's an all-in-one package. You can record your video and sort out your sound, your voice, all through this one program. You don't have to mess around with mixers and all sorts of other devices. Why make something difficult when it can be very simple? Or to put it another way, why make something very difficult when it can be very OBS? Okay, so carrying on. Are you ready to learn some cool stuff? Like how to set up OBS for recording your videos? Of course you are. That's exactly why you're here. So let me stop my waffling and get down to business. I'm not going to try to sound clever. As you know, that would not be true. Rather, I will make this tutorial on OBS as simple as possible, that even a child can follow who is distracted by playing Worm, so only giving half their attention, and also eating an ice cream with a very runny nose, and a pet hamster named Boo crawling all over their lap. A true test of the Gamester's skills, or rather lack thereof. Note: with the latest version of OBS, it will minimize to your system tray. You know, in the bottom right corner of your screen where the time is, that is your system tray. And with the latest update and version, which I'm using, which was created last November, it minimizes to your system tray. So find its icon, right click on it and select Show OBS. That's how you can bring it to the forefront. Now, I will later on in this very episode show you how to turn that off to stop it minimizing. So don't worry, if you like it minimized, then all good. If you don't like it minimizing, I will show you how to stop it. Okay, moving on. Okay, so here is what I've done is that same window, but I've cut out all the rest of it just so I can focus on showing you two things to start with. What I want to do is ease you into this. Now, before we begin, you must be asking yourself, by what authority am I making this episode on OBS? When I am a self-confessed idiot. I have a very simple answer to that. Watch one of my Worm videos past episode 5. I had finished messing up the videos by then, well, graphically that is. If you like the quality of the video, then sit thee down, roll up them sleeves and prepare to get down and dirty with OBS. If you do however want to see what happens if you do not know what you're doing in OBS and you change a lot of the settings, you will end up with a video like my episode 3 video in Worm Unlimited on fishing. You will see the bottom of the screen chopped off. That's all because I was messing around, as you do, with the graphical settings. I am here to stop you from doing that. So anyway, let's get started on the most important things you need to start knowing. It all starts with a scene, not from Romeo and Juliet, but from OBS. As you can see over here, scenes. Hover your mouse over a white blank area under where it says scenes on the left of this picture. So I'm talking about here, anywhere in this white box. Then right click. You will then see the same as in this picture. So when you right click in here, you will see this. Select Add Scene by left clicking on Add Scene. You are now asking me, what is a scene? A scene is simply a way to enable the column to the right under sources. So by adding a scene, you are then allowed to add sources. What are sources? Sources, well, let's not jump ahead of myself. Sources, well, I should step back a bit. Now you're asking me what sources are. Sources are what you create for capturing your games and your monitor. For each new game you want to capture, you will need to create a new source. Notice, I have one scene and many sources. So to conclude, you only need one scene but many sources. Hopefully you grasped this fact and not boo. Anyway, so just to quickly recap, okay, you only need one scene under scenes. Once you have your scene set up, and I'm going to show you how to do that, don't worry, then you can start adding the games you want to make videos on. The games that you want to make videos on will be classed as sources. And again, I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's move on. Anyway, it was your fault for asking me so many questions there and not letting me continue. So let's continue. Okay, so you clicked on Add Scene in that last slide that I just showed you. If I go back, just to recap, what I got you to do was anywhere in the scenes box, we're going to create a scene right now. I want you to right click, this window appears, left click on Add Scene. When you do that, you will then get this window appear. Please enter a name. So it's asking for a name for your scenes. By default, it will say scene. So just click OK. But it might be in the future you want to give your own unique name. As you can see here, I put in some silliness, okay, or maybe it's true. But anyway, what that's to do is just to simply example that you can call the scene whatever you like. I've called it scene because it's logical that it's called scene, because it's under scenes and it is a scene. Okay, this could get confusing, but I'll leave it there. So in this window that you see and it says scenes, just click OK. You'll then be looking exactly like I am just there. There are two reasons to leave the scene name as scene. One, because it makes sense to you as to what it is, and two, by leaving it defaulted, it will make it easier to troubleshoot should you encounter problems in the future, okay, with making your video. Okay, moving on. Okay, you should now see under scenes scene, okay? Time to explain the sources that are relevant to this series. There are possibly 3 different sources that you will use. Monitor capture, for capturing your monitor. That's if you need to record from outside a game in Windows. So you want to do a series like I'm doing here, where you're demonstrating using another program. Game capture, this is the second type of source. So the first one's monitor capture. The second type of source is game capture. That is what you will use when you want to record a video game you're playing. So for those of you playing Worm and you want to show us all your base, your layout, what you're doing, your progress, then you will choose Game Capture. And lastly, Video Capture Device, for if you're using a webcam to record or something around you, or you want to record your face. So let's just go over them three. Monitor Capture, for if you want to capture the entire contents of a particular monitor. I've got multiple monitors. My other monitor displays my programs and my system tray, all my personal stuff. So I've decided to capture my second monitor. Bear that in mind when you're recording videos. If you excuse me, sorry. If you have a second monitor that you can use, capture that monitor, because it won't have a system tray, it won't have all your icons and shortcuts, it won't have possibly private documents. It's far safer. So try and do that if you have a second monitor. If you don't, it's all well and good, just keep everything minimized. Okay, so that's monitor capture. Next we have the big one, which is game capture. That's what I used for recording all my videos on Worm Unlimited and these other games that you see. I only did a couple, but my main one is Worm Unlimited. I used game capture. If you want to use a webcam, then you choose this one, Video Capture Device. Depending on what your device is to how you can call it in the list. Okay? Right, let me just check my notes. To record a game or capture your monitor and use a webcam, you would select a game by putting a tick next to it in the left hand box, and also put a tick in the box next to your webcam. That way you would capture both at the same time. So if you will have a webcam and you want to use the webcam as well as recording the game, over here you would put a tick in the box next to the game, and you would put a tick in the box next to your webcam. By doing so, you've enabled both. Okay, nice and simple. Remember, either game and webcam or monitor and webcam. Don't forget and put ticks. You'll get problems if you try and do game and game capture and monitor capture at the same time. Don't go there, don't do it. Okay, so if you do not have a webcam, then just game or monitor capture. Are you still awake? Try not to snore, as it will distract me. Okay, important note. If you want to capture a game, let's say for the sake of argument Worm Unlimited, you would first load Worm so its exe is running, then you would select game capture in the OBS like you see in this picture. So you would first run the game, then you would enable one of these. Don't worry though, because I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, let me get back to my notes and move on. Okay, enough waffle. Let's step you through the process of adding a game to OBS so you can record a series on it. Step 1, load OBS. So here we are. Notice I've emptied out all the games so I can show you this. I've shown you how to add a scene, so we won't need to go over that again. Now I will show you how to add your game. Okay, step 2. Make sure you have added a scene like I've shown you already in the left hand box where it says scenes. Then load your game. For this example, we will load Worm Unlimited. Notice you only need to launch the game. You do not need to start playing it. So with Worm Unlimited, I double clicked on the icon on my desktop. It then launches this first screen. Okay, so we've launched Worm Unlimited. Now we go back to OBS. Step 3. Right click anywhere under sources in the white box. Hover over add and left click on game capture. So over here in this sources box, right click, that brings up this, hover over add, go over here, down here, and left click on game capture. When you do, you will see this screen. After you've clicked on game capture, you will see this little window called please enter a name. Type in your game name. For example, it will be Worm Unlimited for this tutorial, and then click OK. But whatever game it is you're recording, you will obviously call this that game name. So if you're playing Fallout 4, you'd type Fallout 4. If you're playing Subnautica, you would type in Subnautica. For this example though, I'm going to use Worm Unlimited. So once you've got your name, click the OK button. OK. As soon as you click that OK button, this window will appear called Game Capture. You will now need to do 3 things. First, where it says Application, click on the drop down arrow to the right of that and select your game from the list. In our case it will be Worm Unlimited. So here where it says Application, it will be defaulted on capturing the wrong item. Left click the drop down arrow you see here. You will then see a list of all the programs running on your computer. I have not shown that because I don't want to show the information that some of the information gives away. So you will see your game in this list. Simply left click on it. Okay. When you do that, you will then see your game after Application. So click the drop down arrow and select whatever game it is that you're trying to capture. Okay, so just to re-clarify, where it says Application, it should now be showing your game name. Next, put a tick in the boxes Stretch Image to Screen and Ignore Aspect Ratio. So the 2 boxes that you saw down below, put ticks in them. Note, if you ever, and this is something for the future, this is a little nugget I want to give you, because this is a common mistake a lot of people make, and you will see it in the OBS forums, lots of people saying about this. If you ever record a video and it has a black bar across the left and right hand sides of the screen, that is because you have not put ticks in these 2 boxes. Remember that, as you will have this problem at some point in the future. So just come back and watch the Gamester. Okay, your game capture window should now look like this with the 3 changes we've made. It should be showing the right application, and now it should show a tick in here and a tick in here. Click on the OK button. And don't worry if I'm not mentioning this other stuff, it's not relevant for me to mention, so I'm not going to. You don't need to. So just click OK. Don't worry, perhaps I'll do more episodes covering all of this if you want to go that deep, but not in this one. I want to keep it simple. Click OK. You should now be back to the main window of OBS with your game in the sources list with a tick in its box just like this picture. When you just went through that process, it will automatically put a tick in the box for you when you click OK. So your game will be enabled by default. You are now ready to record a video on that game. But first, let's take a look at the OBS settings, because unless you set your video settings correctly, you may end up recording a low quality video, one that's blurry and horrible for people to watch. So we can fine tune our video resolution quality. So what I'm saying is, sorry, I'm just throwing myself off in the notes, very easy to do. So we're going to now take a look at the OBS settings so we can fine tune our video resolution quality and set up our mic filter to filter out when someone starts banging on your door while you're recording. Okay, start by clicking on the settings button you see in this picture. So where it says settings, left click on that button. You should now see this window. Where it says Setting Profile, click Add and give a name that you wish for your profile and click OK. So over here, click the Add button. A window will pop up asking you for a name for your profile. Type in the name that you want, then just click OK. You will then be seeing yourself here in the profile list. This is handy for if you've got more than one person using the computer. Okay, so just so you know that. Where it says Setting Profile, okay, I've already told you that, so let's not repeat myself. Everything else in this window, leave defaulted, so it is the same as in this picture. Unless it annoys you that OBS minimizes to the system tray, then uncheck the box next to minimize to notification area. Do you remember earlier when I mentioned that the latest version of OBS now will minimize to your system tray? If you do not want it to keep minimizing, remove this tick from this box and then click Apply. Next, when you click the Apply, by the way, that will save the changes you've made. Okay, now click on the encoding option in the list to the left. So over here, left click on encoding. You should now see this window when you click on encoding. These are my settings I use to record with. Lower max bitrate to 2000 if you have a slow internet speed. I believe it is defaulted on 2000, but notice I've increased mine to 8000. That does make my videos huge, but it does give me good quality. Okay, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of all these settings. The aim of this is to keep it simple. So you've seen my videos and the quality. If you're happy with that, just choose the same settings as what I'm doing. There are far too many variables between our systems for me to tell you what's best for you to use. So try my settings. Okay, if you have problems, experiment like I did in episode 3 of my worm series. Well, alright, I'm not trying to sound too funny there, but just be wary if you do mess around with the settings. Just make sure before you make any changes to the default settings in OBS, you write them down, so if all goes south, like my video on fishing did, you can put it back to how it was. Okay, there is a golden tip. Always make sure you make a note of the settings before you start making changes. Okay, if you've made any changes, so if you've changed your max bitrate and you've changed your bitrate and your quality balance or any other settings, this is exactly how mine are. Okay, exactly how they are. Then click Apply, and now we're going to click on the broadcast settings. So left click here where it says broadcast settings. You should now see this window. For the mode, we are making videos, not streaming. So click the drop down arrow and select File Output Only. Where this drop down arrow here is, left click, make sure that you select File Output Only. We are not streaming. If you were streaming, you would choose the streaming option, but this video series is not on that, so click File Output Only. Change the file path to somewhere you know, okay? Pull it wherever you like, but somewhere where you can find it, because that's where your videos will appear after recording them. Then click the Apply button. Now select Video in the list on the left. You should now see this window. I like to record with these settings for max resolution. Try them and see if you like the quality. Note, when you are using monitor capture, put a tick in the arrow box, but remember to remove it if you later want to capture a game. Okay, so OBS does warn you about if you're doing monitor capture, you have to disable arrow. So by putting a tick in the box, you are disabling it, and then you can monitor capture. But if you're recording games, then you will remove the tick. I'll say this to you though, okay, with regards to arrow, I've not touched it, and I'm making these videos with monitor capture. It's up to you, trial and error, but I'm trying to save you a lot of pain. Try to make it look like this. Of course you may have a different graphics card. Hopefully though, this is what's important, and so is this. Okay, and you'll see the aspect ratio. So, all good. Click the apply button if you made changes. Now select audio. You should now see this window. Check the correct mic is selected where it says microphone auxiliary audio device. So here, make sure it's saying your microphone that you're using. Make sure to copy my settings except if you have a different mic. So what I'm saying there is you'll only see this obviously if you've got the same mic as me, otherwise you're looking for your own type of mic. Just make sure all of these settings are the same. That's all I'm saying there. Then click the apply button. Okay, now left click on hotkeys. You should now see this window. As you can see from this picture, I only use 2 hotkeys. Set hotkeys as you wish. Notice I've used the backslash for... Actually, sorry, notice I've used the / for my start recording and stop recording. Once they add a pause feature into OBS, then I will set up 2 more hotkeys, but for now, that's the only 2 I use. And I have enough problems remembering that I've set the / because when I'm typing, it sometimes starts recording. Be wary of that. But there we are, that's 2 hotkeys. Once you've done setting your hotkeys, click the apply button. Now, left click advanced. Okay, again, try first of all setting all as I have done in this screen. These settings work well for me. Okay, they enable me to record with very good quality. If you make changes, click the apply button down here. Okay, my advice is just try to get it looking just like that. Okay, we can skip Quick Sync Encoder and Browser, these 2 over here. I've never used them. Maybe they have a good use. Maybe I'll do an episode in the future, but for this series, we're skipping them. We're going to the next important one, which is Microphone Noise Gate. So left click on that, please. Sorry, excuse me. You should now see this window. Okay, here is a very important window. This is where we will filter out your mic. In my episode on raising tar above water level, part 2 of that episode of my worm series, I had the dogs barking and some lunatic hammering on my door while I was recording. If you watch the video, you will hear me saying, "Give me a few minutes, I'm recording a video," or something of that nature. I did not realise how well I had set this filter, so you only hear my ravings. You don't actually hear the dogs barking or the banging on the door. And if you do, it's very, very distant and quiet. Copy exactly what you see in this picture, but be aware, if your mic is inferior, you may have to play with the levels. The slider on the left must always be lower than the slider on the right. I live in a house with a lot of noise, but watching my videos you would not realise that. All thanks to this fantastic mic filter. It filters out all the background noise. Now some people will tell you, oh, you've got to go and buy this, or you've got to install this, and you've got to, you know, go to a lot of trouble to get all the background noise filtered out. No, you don't. It's all here in OBS. Watch my videos if you don't believe me and see how much interference I get. So, moral of the story, copy, try and get my your settings exactly the same. Okay? That's it. We are done. Click the apply button, then click on OK. I have never used Scene Switcher, so we will skip it. You'll notice Scene Switcher over there. I've never used it, so we will skip it to simply click apply when you've done your sliders and then click OK. You are now ready to record a video on playing a game or capturing your monitor like I am doing now to record this video. Congrats! Thank you for watching. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every last one of you safe. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.